Okay, so I want to just take 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about the forms, and which I was, by the way, very happy about, all of you guys. Okay? But I'm sure you know that traditionally Hapkido does not have any forms. Forms is an attribute, is something that I added because I felt like for me, it worked the best. And I truly believe that's one thing that I disagree with the whole concept, but it took me years and years and years to understand why. And I'm going to tell you, forms have a great place in martial arts. Because truly, to this date, after training with all these wonderful people, all these instructors, it's the only time you get to go all out, I think, in my opinion. You never go all out in sparring. You're never going to go all out in hitting because nothing hits back. There's no element of fear. You're never going to go out all out and accept forms because you can spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally go all out, right? And it's the only time you could do it where somebody will look at you and literally get goosebumps because they can imagine you fighting someone. They can see it, right? It has such presence about it. It has such a switch, turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, okay? And, but the way I've always wanted it for a system, I don't work on forms that much after black because I want you to drop the forms. But the process from white through black, we want to work as much as you can on the forms. But as soon as you get your black belt, you got to let go. You got to let go of the set routines, right? And see what else you can do, how you can bring your personality into it, right? For second degree, we only have one form, that's a cane form. That's even hardly a form. But everybody misses that. They're thinking there's a single sword form or there's a staff form. There's no form. You should be able to do basic form number 1 with a cup of coffee in your hand. That's the ultimate goal. Okay? So, now that you got here with the forms, I really want you to let go of it afterwards. If you choose to get better at it, you want to learn more attributes, that's wonderful. But this is it for forms, we're done. We're not going to do any more. So after black. Okay, you learn other ones, but when you learn them, just keep that in the back of your head. This is not a set patterns of movements I'm learning. I can break all set patterns. There are no patterns in martial arts. Okay, so and that's one thing that me and Grandmaster Jihan Jay even told me that it's not the forms he's against, it's set patterns that he's against. But we do set patterns in doing holds. In grappling, there's set patterns. Everything you do, there's set patterns. Is letting go of the set patterns that's really important. Okay, and it will take you a long time to get that. But the day you understand that, I think the day you're going to grow so much more. Okay, so you got some forms people here, as you guys heard. Like your forms are great, but as great as they are, you just gotta have to let them go. Okay, you can make them better, right? But you're not bound by those set patterns anymore. Right? And the higher degree you go with me, the more I will kick you out. I know this sounds weird, but you got to do your own thing, right? You got to find your truth, your whatever it is, you know, that you do. And so the forms look good today. The expressions, that's more important to me than the actual forms, right? But we are going to be done with them because there's so much. You know, Bruce Lee talks about a story which I love, and I know I'm going to tell you, and you got to get goosebumps, and you got to go, oh, that sounds so great, but how does it apply in life? But I'm going to tell you that because he said, becoming a black belt is okay. So your goal is to in life is to cross a jungle. Remember, your goal is to cross a jungle. While you're crossing a jungle, you get to a river, and you got to pass the river. Black belt is the boat that you make to cross the river. But after you made the boat for the last 3-4 years here, you don't put the boat on top of your head and run with it. Because the goal was to cross the jungle. And so if you carry that boat with you, it will slow you down, right? So the whole point of this thing, it took me years, I don't expect you to get it now. But you need to let go of some things now because find out what it is you really want to do is to cross the jungle, right? I even made that mistake. I forgot to cross the jungle because I made a school teaching people how to make boats. And while I was doing that, I missed the jungle too. So in a way, there's a lot of this stuff going on, right? And people get competitive. They go into tournaments and they go, oh, I can make another boat that can go faster than hers. Let's have a competition to see who can make the best boat or the fastest boat. Which, again, you're missing the whole point of crossing the jungle, right? Or they become into the fancier. Who can make the fanciest boat? Who can make the prettiest uniform? And the more monogram, the better. Who has the most amount of trophies and the certificates, in crossing the river. But again, don't miss the point of, your goal is to, cross the jungle. You have to find out, each one of you, what your jungle looks like, right? I'm lucky to be able to figure out mine, but you gotta make sure. I'm just in charge of making you keep that boat going across the jungle. Does that make sense? I hope. Right? Anyway, so forms, we're done with it. Pay appropriate attention to it. You pay appropriate attention to things. Kicking is wonderful. Punching is wonderful. Grappling is wonderful. If you get to a point that you go, I don't like this, I like that, you miss the whole boat, literally. Right? Whatever it is, you do it. We're doing forms, wonderful. We're not doing forms, wonderful. Right? We're going to do this, great. We're not doing this, great. Right? So you want to be that flexible that you go reach forward more. Okay? So my wish for you guys, may all of you guys find out what it is across the jungle is waiting for you. Right? So the boat's already made and you're doing a wonderful job crossing it. And let's see what you do with it. Right? You guys feel good this morning? Good. You look good this morning, as you can say, and you can tell, and the people here are seeing, we're doing a black belt test completely different from now on. It's all going to be about private victories, right? I've had enough public victories in my life. I don't need more public victories. I want to create more private ones. Because if you have private ones, the public ones will come easy, right? But if you have way too many public ones, if you can't back it up with private ones, missing the whole boat, man. Every one of these black belts who tell you how to improve your form, I will bet you that's what they need to work on first. Because namaste means what? The good in me sees the good in you, but the ugliness in me sees the ugliness in you. I'm going to tell you what I need to work out the most. You understand? So that's what people notice. So do well, because it's just the beginning, right? We're going to go on to a lot more stuff today. Right? So don't think about anything else. Just give it, for this 110%. It's physically impossible to give 110% to anything. It's even impossible to give 100%. So just absolutely do your best. If you think you're going to 85%, go at 86%. Right? So don't fall into that 120%. Right? You physically cannot be able to do 120%. Does it make sense? English is a funny language. You come up with these percentages out of nowhere, Anyway, any questions this morning? You ready for the workout? So you need to have a partner to grab a body shield. I'm going to tell you where to start. And you got to do the push-ups in between. You got to push-ups. You got to do MLS, which is midline stabilization. You could do it on a target. You could do it on the ring. But there's no talking in between from the beginning to the end of Sensei Benny workout. Do you understand? As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to count for you guys. So when you're doing it. All right? So I'll need you to have a partner, hold the bag for each other, 2 lines facing each other. Go.